ticket just to drive through every night. 90% of the world I only see through the windshield light. They're the passengers, I'm the gatekeeper. Never walk inside, this city's a black hole, and I'm the man pulling the tide. But you stare too long, soon it's staring back to you. Hey, look close, listen hard. Don't let the shadows drive your cab. It'll take you places where there ain't no turning back. You'll just be a ghost, and your soul ain't petty cash. Don't let the shadows drive your cab. The rearview mirror ain't my face, it's a stranger looking back. The smile is gone, replaced by a cold, hard, weary track. I ain't hauling people no more, I'm hauling the rage and the fear. All I see is the scum, and I ask myself, who's gonna clean it here? I'm too tired to be sane, for goodness sake. Hey, look close, listen hard. Don't let the shadows drive your cab. It'll take you places where there ain't no turning back. You'll just be a ghost, and your soul ain't petty cash. Don't let the shadows drive your cab. One day you'll ask yourself, you talking to me? And no one answers but your own echo. That voice is gonna tell you what to do. Look close. Don't let the shadows drive your cab. It'll take you places where there ain't no turning back. Don't let the shadows drive your cab. They say that time is money, and I believe it's true. 'Cause every hour I lose sleep is an hour I owe to you. The city lights have neon scars where the weak ones go to die. And I see things in the headlights that the daytime won't let by. I'm running on fumes and black coffee. The tank is always low. Tried to close my eyes just for a little while, but the darkness started talking to me, started to smile. Sleep is the one thing you don't pay for. starts to break. That's the dangerous bargain you've been forced to make. The faces of the passengers, they all look the same, like ghosts in cheap leather seats, whispering the name. The pavement sticky with something ugly. I don't dare to look down. I traded my good dreams for the ugliest sights in this town. I'm too tired to be sane, for goodness sake. Sleep is the one thing you don't pay for. You just sell it away. You give it to the highway, you give it to the coming day. And when you're bankrupt to rest, your soul starts to break. That's the dangerous bargain you've been forced to make. They tell you that the daylight cleans it all up, but I know the truth. The filth that sinks in under your skin when you're not looking, and once it's in, it starts to think for you. It never lets you rest. Sleep is the one thing you don't pay for. You just sell it away. That's the dangerous bargain you've been forced to make. Sleep is the one thing you don't pay for. You just sell it away. That's the dangerous bargain you've been forced to make. I was looking for a purpose, something sharp and cold and true. Thought if I bought a voice, maybe someone would listen to. Walked down to the corner store where the devil hangs his coat. Said, give me something final, give me something for my throat. I was looking for a shepherd, but I only found a tool. Listen to me now, friend, before you make your final turn. You won't find God at the gun store. That's a lesson you must learn. It won't fill the hole in your chest, it'll only dig it deeper. It's just cold steel in your palm, bought from the devil's keeper. The metal felt warm in my hand, like the first love I ever knew. It gave me a reason to wake up, a reason to see things through. I thought I had a mission, a righteous path to take, to clean up all the scars didn't lie. It only showed a fool. Listen to me now, friend, before you make your final turn. You won't find God at the gun store. That's a lesson you must learn. It won't fill the hole in your chest. It'll only dig it deeper. It's just cold steel in your palm, bought from the devil's keeper. So I walked out with my purpose, all wrapped up in a lie. And I wasted my one chance to look up at the sky. I thought the fire would cleanse me, but it only left the soot. And all that fake salvation, it never grew a root. That cold steel, it only digs. Try to hold a soft hand, the kind that smells like perfume. Said I was a good man trying to escape the gloom. She saw the dirt on my shoes, she saw the darkness in my eyes. She said, "You're too much trouble," she didn't even try. Love is a handshake, but mine was always tight. She left me standing in the sun, wishing it was night. Everything else is lost. Learn to love someone else's hand, one that won't let go, one that's made of steel and leather, one that understands the blow. blood hadn't even dried on the tiles. The sirens were still loud when the reporters showed up, pushing through the crowd. They didn't ask me how I felt, they didn't ask me why. They just needed a quick angle, something to catch the public eye. They took one look at the mess I made, and they didn't see the madness, no. They just saw a clean story, ready for the press to go. This is the final lesson from the gutter carved in stone. The papers just need red ink, not the truth you own. They'll paint you a saint or a devil, whichever one sells best. They don't care about your soul, they just care about the test. They call me guardian angel, man who made a stand. They ignored the sick look in my eyes and the gun still in my hand. The senator even sent a letter saying I was brave and true. The filth I hated got washed away by the ink that ran so blue. It turned a dark night of pure rage into a cheap morality play, and I realized that the whole system works exactly this way. This is the final lesson from the gutter carved in stone. The papers just need red ink, not the truth you own. They'll paint you a saint or a devil, whichever one sells best. They don't care about your soul, they just care about the test. They made me a hero, me, the man who saw the world through a scope. That's the joke. The joke is on all of them. This is the final lesson from the gutter. The papers just need red ink, not the truth you own. They'll paint you a saint or a devil. I drove 1,000 miles through the rain, looking for a clean spot, trying to find a piece of God in the places God forgot. I saw the neon signs advertising cheap fixes and lies, and thought if I just scrubbed hard enough, the city might open its eyes. But the filth just laughed at the bucket, it laughed at the water I threw. How can you save a place when the rot is built into the glue? I raised my hand up high, screamed, I'm the one who cares. But the echo came back empty, choked with street exhaust and prayers. Salvation on 42nd Street is a joke that everybody tells. You can't pay the toll with a clean soul, only with broken shells. I thought I was a hero, come to shut the whole thing down. Turns out I was just another fool wearing the city's crown. The girl I tried to save, she went right back to her street. Said she was safer with the pimps and with the loneliness I meet. It hit me hard then, the sick truth that won't go away. I can't clean the street until I clean the people who stay. I traded my sanity for a bottle of cheap gasoline, and still the city smiles dirty and obscene. Salvation on 42nd Street is a joke that everybody tells. You can't pay the toll with a clean soul, only with broken shells. I thought I was the hero, come to shut the whole thing down. Turns out I was just another fool wearing the city's crown. They said I was a savior, but the streets are still sticky. The eyes are still dead, I learned my lesson late. You can shoot the sinner, but you can't kill the sin. Salvation on 42nd Street is a joke. Turns out I was just another fool wearing the city's crown. The paper called it courage, the city called it grace. They gave me back my badge number, and they wiped the blood from my face. They gave me a nice new uniform and a hero's headline to read, but they didn't ask about the voices or the darkness that planted the seed. They saw the flash and the thunder, the smoke clearing in the air, They didn't look at the fire in my soul or the empty stare. Listen to this simple truth, friend. Let it burn in your mind. Not every spark is a holy fire. Sometimes it's just a sick kind. The madness is still breathing, hiding underneath the praise. You can wear the crown, but you can't escape the hate. I stood on the sidewalk, shaking hands with the crowd. I listened to their compliments, shouted out loud. They were cheering the action, the loud destructive noise. They weren't cheering the healing, they were cheering the desperate choice. They mistake the fever for the cure, sudden shock for the fix. And the line between the psycho and the saint, it suddenly mixes. Listen to this simple truth, friend. Let it burn in your mind. Not every spark is a holy fire. Sometimes it's just a sick kind. The madness is still breathing, hiding underneath the praise. You can wear the crown, but you can't escape the hate. I'm back on the road now. The city lights are clean and bright, but the sickness that I brought here, it travels with me every night. You can have your 15 minutes of fame, your temporary glory, but the sickness is a real star, the end of the story. Always dies. Thought it was on the street. Thought if I just drove faster, I could beat the heat. But the air got thick in my room, the walls started to lean. I went to the mirror, saw the face that was waiting to be seen. lesson to your grave friend. Let the cold truth sink in. The man in the glass always wins. He's a devil deep within. You can clean the city, you can burn the whole damn place down, but the face in the reflection will still wear the angry crown. Reflection will still wear the angry crown. They hauled away the bodies and they gave the little girl back home. They said my hands were stained, but my purpose was not alone. I stood there in the wreckage, watching the pale morning light, and I realized I traded sanity for a terrible night. I told myself I was a teacher, setting the world straight and clean, but all I left behind was just a very ugly scene. Listen to the final verdict, friend, and take this truth to heart. Don't call your mess a lesson when you've torn the world apart. You can't build salvation on top of a pile of empty shells. You only left a hole behind to make the numbers work, try to balance the good and bad. The life I saved against the 3 lives that I had. The math never seemed to solve, the ledger stayed in the red. The silence in the taxi was louder than all the words I'd said. I wore the hero's medal, but it felt like a cheap disguise, because the truth was hiding in the look behind the rescued eyes. Listen to the final verdict, friend, and take this truth to heart. Don't call your mess a lesson when you've torn the world apart. You can't build salvation on top of a pile of empty shells. You only left a hole behind in the stench of where the hatred dwells. I wanted to be the lightning to strike once and cleanse the world, but I was just a smoke, just a burnt residue, no clean escape. Listen to the final verdict. Don't call your mess a lesson. You can't build salvation on top of a pile of empty shells. It stays with you. I packed a bag one time, thought I'd leave this whole damn thing. Thought I'd find a small town where the church bells sweetly ring. I even bought a map, traced a line out to the west. But the moment I touched the ignition, I failed the final test. The road out there was clean, but my hands were stained and dark. The cab was the only place that understood my mark. So I turned the key and the engine purred like a beast that knows its den. And I knew I wouldn't see the light again. Take this final ride with me, friend, the last turn of the screw. Your ticket home is long since written, the city owns you too. You're driving in a circle, chasing lights that always fade. This endless road you chose, this is the bargain that you made. I passed the old places where the violence used to burn. The faces all look different, but the lesson I still learn. They see a taxi driver now, just a guy trying to get by. They don't see the man who died that night beneath the crimson sky. The fever left my body, but the silence took its place. I am just a hollow echo in this lonely space. Take this final ride with me, friend, the last turn of the screw. Your ticket home is long nonsense rip. The city owns you too. You're driving in a circle, chasing lights that always fade. This endless road you chose, this is the bargain that you made. I'm not gonna run anymore. There's nowhere to go. There's only the next corner, and the next I'll just keep the meter running. That's my purpose. That's my only truth. Take this final ride with me, friend. The last turn of the screw. This endless road you chose, this is the bargain that you made. Watch the world go by, but I don't see faces, I see lights. Just blurred colors in the glass, moving through the endless nights. I used to think there was sky above, or maybe mountains far away. Now I know the only map I own is the black tar of the highway. I judge men by their shoes and women by their hurried pace. The world is just a pavement and the next empty space. Take off your shoes, feel the truth, friend, the only lesson that remains. The pavement running through your twisted veins. Everything else is a lie, a painted wall you can't get past. The road is the only thing that's real, and it's moving too damn fast. I don't remember the sun anymore, only the yellow of the street lamps glow. They shine on all the garbage, showing the rot that lives below. I used to care about the news, about presidents and war. Now I only care about the fair and the closing of the door. I got rid of the radio, I got rid of the silly talk. Just the sound of the engine running and the rhythm of my slow walk. Take off your shoes, feel the truth, friend, the only lesson that remains. The world is just a pavement running through your twisted veins. Everything else is a lie, a painted wall you can't get past. The road is the only thing that's real, and it's moving too damn fast. is just the pavement running through your twisted veins. The world is just a pavement running through your twisted veins. The road is the only thing that's real. Bought every city map they sold, laid them out on the floor. Searched for a street sign that said, "This is the final door." I traced the freeways with my thumb, running my fingers over the lines, looking for a blind spot where the sickness of the world declines. I thought if I just drove far enough, the silence would return, but the gasoline just feeds the fire. It doesn't help her learn. I looked at all the ink and paper, and I saw a terrible sign. The lines all lead back to the start every single time. This is the truth of the lonely soul, the one I confess to you. The map doesn't show the way out, it only shows the path you must go through. You're driving in a circle, friend, trapped behind the glass. No road sign will save you, this is a shadow that will last. I try to make a clean break, pack my clothes into a sack. Tried to drive till the lights were gone and there was no turning back. But the car just broke down on the side, right where the neon gleams. The city pulled me home again, back into its ugly dreams. I realize the boundary is not the city limit sign. The prison is the feeling that this darkness is now mine. This is the truth of the lonely soul, the one I confess to you. The map doesn't show the way out, it only shows the path you must go through. You're driving in a circle, friend, trapped behind the glass. No road sign will save you, this is the shadow that will last. I threw the maps out the window one by one, didn't need them. Didn't need to look, I know every turn now, I know the way to the end. And it's exactly where I started. The map doesn't show the way out, it only shows the path you must go through. You're driving in a circle, friend, trapped behind the glass. They taught me how to clean my gun, taught me how to follow the line. Said I was the best soldier, part of a righteous design. I came home with the training, the discipline and the stare, ready to take the next command, to fight injustice everywhere. But the streets, they didn't salute, the generals just walked past. The war was over outside, but the emptiness had last. Listen to the beat of the heart that slows, friend. Hear the final word. There's no battle left to fight here, only lessons to be heard. The uniforms are hung up, the enemy is too hard to see, and the only war that's left is the one raging inside of me. I looked for the enemy in suits, in the pimps and the painted girls. I tried to put the military code on the chaos of the world. I wore the jacket of a soldier, but I drove a civilian cab. I traded my rifle for a meter and my mission for a tab. The skills I had were useless here, just tools for a bloody mess. My true war was within me, fueled by loneliness. Listen to the beat of the heart that slows, friend. Hear the final word. There's no battle left to fight here, only lessons to be heard. The uniforms are hung up, the enemy is too hard to see, and the only war that's left is the one raging inside of me. Peace is freedom, but they never tell you the cost. When you're built for the fight, everything else is lost. I should have stayed out there where the lines were drawn so clear, because the biggest coward I ever met was the one who came home here. Wore a shirt that wasn't stained, walked into her office like I was meant to be retained. She talked about the candidate, all smooth and all so smart. I just wanted her to look at me and look right at my heart. She saw the darkness there, something she didn't want to touch. I tried to be polite, but it meant too damn much. This is the hardest lesson, the one that makes you cry. The empty empty coffee cup test, they'll never take you back. They want the surface clean, they don't want the dirt you hold. They'll let you sit and watch till your heart turns hot and cold. Hey! I took her to the cafe, but she couldn't stand the sight of the cheap neon burning in the middle of the night. She sipped her hot black coffee and she didn't meet my gaze. Said I was sweet and honest, but she walked into a haze. She passed the final judgment with a smile so weak and small, and that's the moment I knew I had to lose it all. This is the hardest lesson, the one that makes you crack. The empty coffee cup test, they'll never take you back. They want the surface clean, they don't want the dirt you hold. They'll let you sit and watch till your heart turns hot and cold. Oh! They slide into the backseat, slam the door and give the address. They all smell like something ugly, failure, cheap success. They talk about their money, they talk about their lives, but I don't hear the words they say, I only look at their eyes. Just shapes in the mirror, shadows in the back of my mind. Just another fare to collect, another piece of mankind. Take the money, hear the true friend, this is the final song. Every customer is the same, they're just waiting for kingdom come. They carry the sickness with them, they leave the dirt on the floor. They're all just passing through, never asking for anything more. I don't look at their faces, I don't try to know their name. If I acknowledge their humanity, then I'll lose the game. I drive them through the alley, through the places they won't see. I watched them stumble out the door, paying their misery fee. They think I'm a servant, just a man who drives a car, but I'm the judge and the jury, watching them from afar. Take the money, hear the true friend, this is the final song. Every customer is the same, they're just waiting for kingdom come. They carry the sickness with them, they leave the dirt on the floor. They're all just passing through, never asking for anything more.
Numbers from the senator to the junkie, all the same, all waiting for the end, and I'm the one driving them there.
Every customer is the same, they're just waiting for kingdom come. They carry the sickness with them, they're all just passing through. I saw her face in the alley, thin coat and eyes too old. A child standing in the neon glare, a story left untold. All the filth I hated, it gathered at her small feet. She was the one clean thing stuck right there in the middle of the street. I tried to talk to her, tried to tell her how to leave the dark, but the words I had were useless, they never hit their mark. I looked past the pimps and the drugs, past the dirt and the smoke, and I saw the one thing I needed, the one thing I couldn't break. This is the ugly truth I keep, the secret I confess to you. I didn't want to save the world, I just needed something pure to rescue. She was the perfect victim, the perfect reason to strike the match. The child in the filth was the only hero I could catch. Try to tell her boss, try to lay down her father's plea, but he just laughed at the taxi man and he didn't care for me. The failure was a hammer blow, it smashed the last of my restraint. If words won't pull her out, then the fire must cleanse the saint. The need to save her became the hammer that I swung with rage. The only way to ride myself onto my moral page. This is the ugly truth I keep, the secret I confess to you. I didn't want to save the world, I just needed something pure to rescue. could catch. They left her there, they left her there to rot. But I won't let them take her. She's the key, she's the proof, she is the justification for every single thing I plan to do. The child in the filth was the only hero I could catch. They tell you the city's alive, that it breathes and it moves and it grows. But that's a cheap lie for the tourist, a simple thing everyone knows. This city is ancient, friend, built on the dust of the desperate years. Doesn't forget a mistake, it just drinks up all your tears. It doesn't sleep at all, it just keeps its cold stone eyes open wide, watching the little lives that run and hide inside. Listen to the silence in the engine, friend, hear the truth it creates. The city never sleeps, it just waits, it just patiently waits. It waits for the good men to crack, it waits for the lights to fade. It waits for the bargain you made and the final payment to be laid. Buildings are like tombstones, reaching up to the smoke-stained sky. They've seen 1,000 men like me, they have watched them live and die. They don't care about your anger, they don't care about your need to clean. They just watch you load your weapon, watch you play out the final scene. The pavement is a ledger, keeping track of every step you take. And when you fall down broken, it won't mourn, for goodness sake. Listen to the silence in the engine, friend, hear the truth it creates. The city never sleeps, it just waits, it just patiently waits. It waits for the good men to crack, it waits for the lights to fade. It waits for the bargain you made light it once, thought I could burn it to the ground. But you can't kill a monster when its shadow is all around. It got into my head, it got into the